Joining me right now is Audrey's mother. There's been a lot of speculation about her. A lot of mean things have been said about her online. I want you to meet Cassie Matthews. Miss Matthews, thank you for being with us. We've heard a lot from Audrey's grandparents, with whom this sweet little girl was living with a child sex offender in the backyard. We've heard a lot from them. But, I knew it all about suffering, about grieving, about mourning. After my fiance was murdered, when I gave birth to the twins, I found out I don't know anything. And Miss Matthews, I can't tell you how much we've been praying for you and how sorry we are. And I know that means nothing. I almost hate to even say it. But I want you to know our whole staff has been thinking about you and praying. And I want to thank you for being with us right now.
Yes, ma'am. I just, I want to do everything that I can for my baby.
Everyone joining me is Cassie Matthews. This is little Audrey Cunningham's mother, Audrey, 11 years old when she was killed. Audrey, when I look at her, Miss Cassie, is just so full of joy and life. I'm looking at a picture of her now with a little white t-shirt on with the blue sundress over it. And now she's got on a little black t-shirt and looks like a little pocketbook strapped shoulder over her shoulder. She's just so precious and looks so well taken care of. How in the hay do you believe this happened, Miss Matthews?
I don't understand how it happened at all. I don't understand how they put so much effort into keeping her from me, but they couldn't put the same effort into knowing the people that they had around her.
Miss Matthews, what happened when you discovered that Audrey was missing? How did you find that out? Or did you know that before you found out that she had been killed?
So it was Thursday evening. I'm gonna say it was like 7 o'clock. Um, Tabitha herself had gone and contacted or went to the home of my fiance's mother and was asking her if she knew where we were, if we were there, and had said Audrey was missing. Now his mother instantly calls him, of course, and she she makes her get on the phone with me, and she's telling me that she's missing and asking me if I had seen her. And of course, no, I haven't seen her. I honestly wanted to ask her if it was a sick joke, but I didn't. And I'm used to a lot of crazy things from that family. So when she said no, she's missing.
So, Cassie, you said that the paternal grandmother, Tabitha, went knocking at your fiance's mom's door looking for Audrey. Did they call you immediately?
Of course, my fiance's mom called him instantly, and she told him that I needed to be on the phone ASAP, and then she put Tabitha on the phone and made her talk to me.
Why didn't she
She,
want? I mean, I would think she would have called you first. Had they been blocking you seeing Audrey?
I haven't had any type of contact. I had the last bit of contact that I had with Josh, where I was once again begging to see my daughter in any way that made him or her comfortable. Whatever I needed to do, I had to do that through my fiance's messenger.
So the grandma shows up at your fiance's mom's place looking for Audrey. Then your fiance's mom has her call you. And what did she say?
She tells me that she's missing. She didn't make it home off the bus. Asked me if I had seen her, which that's a crazy question because you haven't allowed me to see her in so long. Um, and after that, I had told her about how Stephen had messaged me strangely out of the blue the night before, and that I would share the messages with her. And then I asked her where Stephen was, and she went from
Are
a
you
hysterical
referring to the
state.
defendant, the murder defendant, Don Stephen McDougal, age 42? Is that who you're referring to?
Yes, that's who I'm referring to.
When they asked where's Audrey, what did you say?
I, of course, told them I haven't seen her. And in my mind, I wanted to snap and tell her, of course, I haven't seen her. You and your son haven't let me see my daughter in how long now? But I didn't because I instantly wanted to know where my daughter was. That was the thing that took over. Um,
Now
I waited on officers.
you also asked the grandma, where is Stephen? And we know that
Yes,
to
I
be
did.
Stephen
I had
McDougal.
told her about the
Why?
him messaging me. I had told her about him messaging me out of the blue the night before, and told her that he had said to me that he was going to take her to school that morning. And I asked her where he was and had she seen him. And she went from hysterical to stuttering. I gotta go.
You told me you told me earlier she went from calm to hysterical.
No, 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 no. She went from hysterical to stuttering, and she had to go.
Oh, as soon as she realized that Stephen McDougal had been with
Yes,
Audrey, she had to go and hung up the phone.
it was her stuttering the word she didn't have anything else to say other than I gotta go. Now in the 911 call you can clearly hear him in the background.
Guys, we are speaking with Cassie Matthews. This is Audrey Cunningham's mother. What happened after that? After she hangs up, what do you do?
I i'm about to melt down. I hit my knees. I prayed. My fiance is sitting there trying to comfort me, but I didn't even want him to touch me. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm pacing a rut in my house, just wondering where she could be, where I could look, what I could do. I'm waiting for the officers. When officers finally showed up, they asked if they could search my home. And of course, I asked them if I needed to step outside, whatever made them more comfortable. But I wanted them to go ahead and, get that done and start looking for my baby. Now, I tried to ask a couple questions and they just kind of looked at each other after they searched and were like, okay, it's all clear. Let's move on. And then left. Nobody really answered any questions for me for a long time.
What was the next thing that happened in your world?
Well, the next thing that happened was I am being advised that it would probably be best, well, advised, but not advised, which makes no sense to me, but that is what has been said. Um, that I should stay put in my own home. And then shortly after that, my fiance, and the roommate that we have at the time, uh, we're getting picked up by the sheriff's office and investigators. We go and we spend, I think it was almost 16 hours up there. Now the entire time I'm being asked 20 million questions that I'm able to answer with no problem. They keep trying to say to me, I feel like there's something you're not telling us. I feel like there's something you're not telling us. Well, finally, I
Okay, hold
snapped
on.
for a second.
Who took you where?
The sheriff's department, and they had a few of the investigators with them. They took us up to
Took you
the Polk
where?
County Sheriff's Department.
So you were there, your fiance was there, and your roommate was there, and they were peppering you with questions really about where's Audrey? When have you last seen her? Did you take her? Did you hide her? questions of that
and
nature,
about the
correct?
messages between Stephen and I from the night before. And they were asking me if
Yes.
I,
Now, that's very curious, Cassie, because I find those text messages that McDougal sent you very, very incriminating for him, because he is playing on your emotions. He knows how much you want to see Audrii. So basically, Cassie, McDougal is using your daughter as bait to lure you down to the river where her body was later found. Why was
um,
he doing that? And claiming he was going to keep it secret from her dad. What was he? What was his game?
well, when he first approached me, and see, when I say approached me, it was all through Facebook Messenger. I've never had his number or anything like that. But he had said that he was Audrey's babysitter, which was instant red flag. I didn't understand. But he had said that he wasn't going to pick parents' sides, that he was concerned about what Audrey wanted and how she felt, and that he thought it was wrong for her to be kept from me if she wanted to know me. So he played on the fact that I was desperate for anything. I wanted pictures. I just anything that had to do with my daughter. And for a minute, I could have believed that, but then I thought more into it, and I just knew something was wrong. And I had been speaking to my family about it. I'd been telling my fiance told me from the jump not to associate with him in any way. Do not. But he doesn't understand how I was feeling when I was craving something of my daughter.
Did you have any idea this freak was your daughter's babysitter?
Not until he had messaged me, and I had tried to contact Josh, wondering what the is going on. And I asked my family over and over again if they could try to contact, and they tried to get no answer. I wanted to know why a man that nobody knows is being left with my 11-year-old daughter. I mean, he could have chose anyone else under the sun, and it would have been okay. Uh, but when he invited me down to go fishing to see my daughter, well, for one, I knew better. Uh, but at this point, knowing what I know now, I feel like he did something to Audrey Wednesday before he even messaged me, and that if I would have went, he would have gotten rid of me as well, and then it would have been chalked up to I kidnapped my daughter and I ran with her, and people would have forever been looking for two people that don't exist, not looking in a river.
Question. So you believe this was part of a bigger plan? Why do you believe, Cassie, he needed, in his mind, to kill Audrey?
I don't. I don't understand that at all. Actually, I can understand the little bit of hatred that he would have for me, because I would be the only person that could remove her from the home, where he was already residing. I have no idea why he felt the need to. I actually, you know what? And this is, oh my God, it makes me sick to my stomach to say, but I think that in a pedophile's mind, they see a child and they see their actions as an adult would see another adult. Okay, I feel like maybe he was in love with my daughter, and he thought that maybe at one point she did say that he was her favorite person or something like that. Maybe he was good to her, but she was looking at him as nothing other than an uncle, the way a child should, if at most.
Cassie,
But what if
do
he was
you
in, but
believe
what if
he
he was in
had
love with my daughter?
already?
What if he tried to make an advance on my daughter, and he didn't get the reaction that he wanted? He either snapped or he knew that she would tell. That is what I think.
Do you believe he had already molested her?
I don't I don't know. Do you know that I didn't find out that her pants were on the bank until I watched your interview with
Tim Miller.
yeah.
And you know what, Cassie? I didn't know either until I was talking to Tim Miller and he told me live at that moment. I didn't know that either. And it felt like a knife in my heart. How
I'm
did
really trying to
you?
hold it together. I'm
I'm sorry,
sick. I'm
Cassie. I am
sick to
so
my stomach.
sorry.
I don't understand.
Cassie, how did you learn that they had found Audrii?
Um, a lady from the sheriff's department, and one of the jailers, I believe, was sent to my home to tell me and to sit with me until a family member or some type of support. They weren't supposed to leave me alone, and they didn't. She was really good to me, but I just knew in my stomach when my fiance come to the room because I hadn't gotten out of bed. I was just stuck in my bed when he had come to me and said that there was a lady from the sheriff's department at the door and that they needed to speak with me. I knew in my and
You know what,
honestly, I
Cassie? I don't know how people know that, but when I found out that I was supposed to call my fiance's sister, I knew. I knew he was dead. I knew right then. So when you hear there's a sheriff lady at the door, you knew that Audrii
I
was
knew
gone.
my stomach dropped. My heart just everything just stopped for a minute, honestly. And I felt like I couldn't breathe when she told me. I
What
didn't
did she say? Did she reveal anything?
know. She looked me in my face, asked me to sit down, and then she said, "This is not news that I want to be giving you right now." And I started bawling, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, baby, you know." And she was right. And honestly, I still don't know how to process any of this. If you want me to be nothing but truthful, I am in search for a therapist at the moment because I have been a manic depressant with extreme anxiety since I was 15 years old. I am so scared that this is going to be a depression that I can't get myself out of. I I feel numb. I don't feel much of anything else at all. I feel numb. I don't sleep. I don't I just sit there and I watch videos and look at pictures and I read all of these comments on the internet and that's all I can do. All I can do is just put all of my thought into this in general. I can have someone sitting right next to me and they're talking to me and I don't hear a word that they say because I'm just
Cassie, I'm going to hook you up with a therapist. I've got somebody for you, a lady for you to talk to, and I'll hook you up with her in just a few moments. Cassie, did you have any idea about McDougal's record? Why was he living in the backyard? Why did he have access to the home?
so I had no idea until I made the Facebook post and people started commenting because as much effort as they put into keeping me away, I figured they would put the same type of effort into knowing the people that were around. If I would have known that I needed to do her father's job because he didn't give a to do it, I would have known. But I
I've
knew
got a
from the
question
jump
for you,
something was not
Cassie.
right.
You said that as soon as you told your fiance he wants to meet me down by the river and he's going to bring Audrii, your fiance immediately said, "Do not talk to this guy. Stay away from him." Did everybody know this guy was bad news? Why would he say that?
He did not like the fact that he was like persistent on trying to get me alone. He said that he had a bad feeling about him, and that there just something wasn't right. And my fiance is an excellent judge of character. He really is.
He was right. Question to you. Did you discover that McDougal was actually going door to door like he was looking for Audrii?
That's the part right there that just infuriates me to the point where I could put my hands around his throat and squeeze and not stop. How do you know damn good and well what you did to my daughter, and then you search for her like you care? You don't care. You killed my daughter, and then you want to search for.
When you
It's
found
sick.
out that Audrii was missing and McDougal writes he was taking her to the bus, did you ever text him or call him and say, "Where's Audrii?"
He messaged me actually, and he said, "Hey, have you seen Audrii? She didn't make it home off the bus." And I said, "Where the is my kid, Steven?" Because I knew.
He was trying to cover his tracks. I wonder if he was trying in some way to set you up. I can't figure it out. But I guarantee you this, Miss Matthews, I will figure it out. I will figure it out. And I want you to know not only are we praying and thinking about you, we're not letting go of this until this guy gets a
I don't.
Texas death penalty.
Can I be
I
honest with you about
know
that?
you don't care if he gets the death penalty. Other people do.
I actually don't want him to receive the death penalty only because not I am not God. It is not my place to, you know, judge when somebody else's life ends. And that to me is an easy way out for him. I have to live with the fact for the rest of my life that I will never see my daughter again, the things that happened to my daughter. And I feel like he should get life without parole, so he has to deal with all of the repercussions every single day for the rest of his life just as well.
Do you think he cares? Do you think McDougal
No, see,
will
that's the
sit in
thing.
jail and feel
No, see,
sorry?
that's the thing.
And let me tell
That's
you
the thing,
something.
Nancy.
He can
I
get
never I
right
never
with
expect
God
him.
on his way to
No,
hell.
I never expect him at all to even have any type of remorse, because you can see it in his face, the type of monster he is and the things that he did to my daughter. But the other people that he will have around him will damn sure make sure that he does not enjoy a single minute of it.
Miss Matthews, I want you to try. And I know these are just words that don't mean anything. You've got to stay strong because you've got to make sure there is justice for Audrii. You have got to stay
I
strong. Don't fall into that depression and spiral down to where you can't get out. You've got to be her mom now and stay strong and be her voice because nobody else has been her voice. And now it's on you, Cassie. You got to be her voice. And you can do
I failed
that.
my daughter
Thank you for.
once by being bullied into submission and being made to believe that she was in a good home, but I will not fail my daughter again, Nancy. That's Everybody thinks that I don't care, that I'm just shrugging it off. Oh, she's not crying,
I
she's
don't
not
think
this, she's
that.
not that. No, I break down in my home where I'm comfortable. My grieving is not everyone's business, but what is everyone's business is the fact that this isn't over and things need to be done concerning my daughter. So if I got to keep a straight face and I got to look heartless for it, well, so be it. But if I'm sitting there breaking down,
Who cares
I'm
what
not
they
getting a damn thing
think?
done.
Who cares what they think? All that matters now is what God thinks and getting justice. That's all that matters right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Cassie, thank you for being with us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for everything that you've done and how much effort you've put into this. It means a lot to me. Um, I appreciate your your realism, your straight to the point, the fact that you're not You're not just trying to be somebody's best friend. You are in the interest of the child, my child. And I appreciate all of the information that I have obtained from you, whether you knew you were giving me the information or not. I just appreciate you in general. Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you for watching Crime Online with Nancy Grace here on YouTube. To get the very latest, subscribe to Crime Online here